Art O'Cal and Tyler Erzberger for ESPN Esports. By now, you've definitely heard the news that Mixer has been shuttered, and streamers are now they have the choice to go to Facebook Gaming in similar arrangements. There's a lot of news out there. The biggest streamers, Ninja and Shroud, have opted not to go to Facebook Gaming, according to reports, and now they are free agents after being paid out or bought out of their contracts, free to go wherever they choose. It has been reported they will not be going to Facebook Gaming, so now we wonder whether they go back to Twitch or what they do next. Tyler, this is such a sharp contrast to what we were talking about last summer and really into the fall, and how much we were covering the streamer wars, and now the landscape has changed so much.
It's changed drastically, yes, but I also think that the Mixer deal, in hindsight, is still a paradigm shift in the streaming community, because I did make that tweet a year ago after the Ninja Mixer deal was released. I was like, this is a paradigm shift, and a few people were like, oh, old take exposed yesterday, it didn't work out. I never knew it would work out. My entire point about that was that this is going to change streaming forever in terms of contracts. I know there's contracts in China because there's various streaming outlets, but in North America and in the West, there really wasn't that type of competition where streamers are now, it's similar to esports, right? Where these players, even bigger than esports in some cases, like our friend and journalist Rod Slasher Brazil, basically said that Ninja and Shroud were offered double their offers from Mixer to stay with Facebook Gaming in the kind of the fusion between Mixer and Facebook, which from what Rod says was going to be $60 million for Ninja to stay with Facebook Gaming, and he declined, taking his $30 million in the buyout and now being a free agent. His Twitch page has already been updated. You would expect him maybe to go back to Twitch. It would be the viewership for Ninja coming back to Twitch is going to be gigantic when it happens. Him and Shroud equally. But when Ninja first streams, he might break records for the biggest comeback stream, which I believe at this point would be Dr. Disrespect. For a single individual person stream, I believe is around like 400,000. I think he can beat that.
It's interesting to think, right? I mean, I guess Ninja certainly has enough in the bank for future generations for his family to come. So money is not the prime motivator here, because if it was, he would have taken that larger bag to go to Facebook Gaming. But you're right, he wouldn't have gotten the numbers there. Yeah. Facebook Gaming still feels like a very distant third to Twitch and YouTube, right?
Very distant.
Yeah, very distant. And I mean, we're not even talking about caffeine in all of this. Yeah. I mean, that's just a distant afterthought. But what might matter to him, and you could say the biggest criticism he got all year when he was with Mixer was, look at these numbers. They're declining. Look at his clout. He's declining as a streamer, as a personality, as a celebrity. And imagine the footprint and imagine the hype and the buzz for his next announcement and that first stream back.
It's funny, right? Like, obviously we're ESPN Esports, but he's kind of a documentary series called The Last Dance, and Michael Jordan, he went away for a year. He went to go play baseball with the White Sox. But then when he actually returned, the hype for his return was bigger than anything, right? It was the comeback. Everyone likes a comeback story. I think actually in the long run, I think Ninja taking the year off and then coming back to Twitch would be the greatest thing for his career, because I mean, Ninja was still one of the biggest, top 5 streamers, maybe even top 3. But Tfue had started beating him out by the end of his run as a Twitch streamer. Tfue was getting more views than Ninja. They were still killing the game. They were still top of the books. They were still averaging over 100,000. But Tfue was a little bit getting the better of Ninja. And also Ninja had that strict schedule where if he missed a day, he would lose hundreds of thousands of dollars from subs. So he got the Mixer deal. He got his $30 million. He's piecing out. Now he's coming back to Twitch, and if he comes back to Twitch, we don't know yet. He might sign a crazy deal for YouTube. I'm sure YouTube is in the conversation. I'm sure Twitch is in the conversation. But if he returns to Twitch, it is going to be huge, and it's going to relight his story, right? It's going to reignite his brand, because I think people looked at his Mixer deal and looked at him on Mixer, and they got too involved in the numbers. Because while the numbers on Mixer weren't amazing, he was still everywhere in pop culture. Pop culture has latched on to Ninja as the video game guy, and we know as people who like pop culture, who are in the pop culture business, so to speak, we know that people like finding trends and they like to use that person without looking at the total numbers. Like, people see him as the video game guy, so he's been on what? He's been on The Masked Singer. He was on the freaking Masked Singer, for Christ's sakes, during his time on Mixer. So
he was going to be in a movie with Ryan Reynolds.
He's on a movie. He's an Adidas athlete. Like, Ninja's brand is still huge, like, to the casual audience. He's still that guy. He's selling figurines and merchandise in retail stores. So viewership doesn't matter. But him going back to Twitch is going to, if he comes back to Twitch, or if he goes to YouTube, either or, his first streams, his first month, maybe even his first year back is going to reignite his brand with the more hardcore audience and kind of bring in more sponsors and more interest. And it's going to be huge for him. And it's kind of, him and Shroud are set. They're perfectly good. They have very, very bright futures. The whole Mixer deal, it sucks more for the low, for the non-Shrouds, for the non-Ninjas. Even the bigger streamers on Mixer, and big streamer on Mixer means they were averaging, 2,000, 1,000 viewers? Those people who had fostered those communities, who had built those, revenue streams to keep stable, to have a good life, maybe buy a house, maybe, to have an above average life, those communities and that revenue stream is now gone. And for
they
them
have to start from scratch, for all intents and purposes. Yeah. Many of them do.
Yeah, and some of them, there was talk of, if they go to Facebook Gaming, they might get a few $1,000s, to just start streaming there to kind of boost up Facebook Gaming's numbers. But you really
after signing an NDA.
But for them, it's a thing of Facebook Gaming. Is that really the future? Can they really it took them so long to foster communities on Mixer, a smaller streaming platform, to go to another small streaming platform and tell these people hey, this is for real for this time. We're a family. Nothing's going to go wrong. If you invest in me and invest in this Facebook Gaming, we're never going away. When you just had that with Mixer, I don't think it's possible. So for a lot of these people, they're going back to Twitch. They're going to YouTube. They're going to have to, start a new trail and hope that they can bring some of the people they had on Mixer with them. And my heart's out with them. It was one of the saddest just going on those streams. They know none of their partners, none of the streamers they highlight on their website. If you went there yesterday, and they have, highlighted pages on the front page for their biggest, partners, with, smiling faces, very nicely photoshopped, and they looked professional, and these are the people who run Mixer. These are our guys. And they were all crying. When you actually, when you clicked on their smiling face, you would go to them crying, basically being they didn't tell us anything. They just kind of emailed us. Some of them didn't even get emailed. Basically, they were just saying, hey, after today, this website's over. So whatever you're going to do, have fun. Have your last day streaming. It's awful. And really, it kind of shows it's you can brand yourself as the most family-friendly thing possible, but when it comes to, ruthless business decisions, they don't think of the little man most of the time, almost none of the time. And that's why my heart's out mostly for those small streamers, because Ninja and Shroud, they're already
fine.
Set. They're fine. They're set for life. They're gonna make millions of dollars. Ninja's gonna could stream on Twitch and get 500,000 viewers tomorrow. They're gonna be fine. But for those smaller streamers, that's where my heart out goes to, because streaming is hard. I mean, we're us as ESPN Esports, it's hard fostering a community. It doesn't matter how many Twitter followers you have. It doesn't matter how much clout you have to other people. It's hard to get a committed community to come watch you day in and day out and to interact with you. And when you take years to build that community up, and then just out of the blue, they basically say, goodbye, we don't care about you. Goodbye, your community's over. Everything you've worked for is now done. Go build it somewhere else. It's hard, and I feel really bad for those people.
And a lot of people will not travel across platforms. Just look at Ninja as an example. How many people traveled from Twitch to Mixer? Not that it mattered, because Ninja had that was a quality of life move. And here's the point I want to end on. Going back to Ninja and Shroud for a second, but more so Ninja, because he has that transformative ability and crosses multiple genres and enters the mainstream zeitgeist. Yeah. You got to wonder what his motivations are, because he could have taken that. I guess him and Shroud could have taken that bag from Facebook, double their salaries. They didn't, for a reason, right? For Ninja, you got to think he has not only quality of life in mind, but he wants to transform the industry. That was something he was saying when he signed with Mixer, right? He was very proud of the fact that he changed the paradigm for streamers, right? The fact that he was able to do something first and pave the way for other streamers to also then grab the bag. And look how many signings there were, including Courage JD to YouTube Gaming. And so I wonder for that reason what his motivations will be. And I think this is an optimal time for YouTube to make a splash like this. And I do think it's going to be a different situation for YouTube than it would be Mixer. Whereas Mixer changed the paradigm for how streamers are interacting with streaming platforms, YouTube would make a signing like this to become number one, to compete with Twitch. And I think that the opportunity is there with a signing like a Ninja and Shroud. What do you think about that?
I agree. I do think YouTube is, if they are, I mean, the base of people on YouTube is far greater than Twitch. It's just them getting to the gaming section. So the only stream platform that can actually fight with Twitch is YouTube. And if they did get a Shroud or both, and got those players along with Courage and others and started building their lineup, then yeah, they could make that 12-year-old who's the future streamer want to be more of a YouTube streamer than a Twitch streamer. We've seen it with numbers in the LCS. Like the biggest North American esports league is the League Championship Series, the League of Legends competition in North America, and for years it's been Twitch dominated, where Twitch viewers were so big, much bigger and larger than the YouTube audience. It was kind of a joke. It's like, why are you streaming to 5,000 people on YouTube when 200,000 are watching on Twitch? Now the YouTube audience is bigger than the Twitch audience when it comes to watching LCS. And a lot of people have asked is because it's a much better video player. YouTube just has rewind options. You can rewind in real time. It's a better option for a lot of people when it comes to the video option to give. So YouTube has everything they need to battle Twitch. It just needs more of that lineup to kind of change the narrative, because Twitch has the market share because they got here first and they've laid the groundwork for everything. But YouTube definitely has a chance. But my thing when I'm talking about Ninja is, and my final point on it is, why is Ninja doing this? Why is Shroud doing this? And I think Ninja in particular, and I think both of us can agree on this, Ninja has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Ninja's coming. Ninja doesn't like to lose. He said this many times. He's like, he doesn't like to lose in video games. I don't think he likes losing in general. And I think Ninja's been hearing the chirping. He's been hearing the chirping of his viewership. He's been hearing the chirping of being on Mixer and the Mixer memes. And I think he is proud of what he built on Mixer and what he's done for streamers in general when it comes to signing contracts. But if he's coming back to Twitch or YouTube, he's coming for it. He's coming for the throne. He's coming to be the number one streamer in the world again, or the number one Western streamer. I don't want to speak about, because numbers in China are absolutely insane. But he wants to come for the throne. He's looking at Tim the Tapman. He's looking at Summit. He's looking at XQC, and he's like, "You've had my throne for a year. Tfue, all of that." He wants to. He is someone who is very, very competitive, and I don't think he's gonna come back without having a bang. And for Shroud and him, I think they're gonna have a very fun few weeks. There's gonna be some speculation. Who knows what's gonna happen? I know Ninja's competing in the first major Valorant tournament this weekend with the Ignition series with T1. Will he be streaming it? I know people are gonna be watching him play in it. I know there's gonna be excitement around it. His Twitch stream does say now that he streams Fortnite and Valorant, so there's gonna be a lot of speculation in the coming days, coming weeks, maybe even coming months. But whenever Shroud and Ninja make their decision of what they want to do next, you better be sure hundreds of thousands of people will be watching.
And talking about it, we will be talking about it for sure, because this is a story that Tyler, you and I in particular, have been following very closely for the past year or so. And now, as my good friend JR would say, business is about to pick up. And listen, Ninja's about to say, to quote Jay-Z, allow me to reintroduce myself, whether he picks YouTube or Twitch. But let us know in the comments below. Here's the question I'd like to ask you viewers. Where do you think Ninja will end up? And the other option is maybe he doesn't pick one exclusively.
We
haven't even thought about that.
Maybe
he makes his own streaming company, and he has the power and capacity to do that. That's another thing. Maybe he cares so much about the community that he's going to build his own platform, and then he will invite streamers to come and stream on his platform. That's an option too. But there's so many options here. There's so many thoughts here. But where do you think Ninja will end up? Let us know in the comments below.